Julantru, and welcome to this visual review video. Welcome to ShadowStar. Don't worry about the Jemadar vessel, it's just making sure the Dhailkhina class of the Jerfface doesn't cause any trouble. You know how the Romulans can be, you've got to have someone overlooking them. In the case, our gracious escort here is DarkStar of DarkStar's Order. If you don't know who this individual is, you're missing out. The link is below, please go check him out. DarkStar has some amazing STO videos, and it's definitely someone to keep an eye on. But, without further ado, for this visual review video we'll be breaking down the ship's customization options, or lack thereof. Then we'll be taking a look at the visual parameters of the ship. Now this is going to be a bit more extensive for the ship, as there is more to talk about than just the ship in general. We have her Snakehead fighters and her little escorts, but those will be given a modest look at in comparison to this primary vessel as seen in Star Trek Picard. Once this has been done, we'll get into the visual reviews of the Vanity shields, which I'm pretty sure is everyone's favourite spot. So, I'm Captain Ri'shad. Shall we begin? He really is not going to let me get away with doing anything naughty, I swear to God. I'm not a bad Romulan, I promise. So, the Dhailkhina, I'm not really sure if I'm saying that right, probably not, is an interesting Romulan vessel, but it comes with only the Romulan bridge. A little bit disappointed, would have loved to have had the bridge from the show, but you can't win them all, and she is quite a gracious looking ship. She comes with 3 window types apparently, 4 window types. Not entirely sure I'd want to see all these on the vessel, but hey, it's nice that they thought to throw some extra windows on. And her materials that are available to her are actually quite extensive. We have her natural material, the Ronodanier, which is a very impressive looking material. Riemann 1. Riemann 2. I'm really annoyed that I'm having to click between these now. Romulan 1. Romulan 2. Romulan Type 2 Brown. Way! Romulan Type 3. Which is actually really nice looking. I do like the grey plates that come here and there and everywhere on it. Almost looks like war paint, to be honest. 4. A little bit less war painty, more slick, white, greeny. Looks a bit phlegmy, if I'm honest, though. Veteran. Now this is nice looking. This is one of my favourites to have on the ship. The Snakehead, which looks absolutely amazing, let's be honest. Snakehead hull is the best hull. I like my black holes. Tillis refit. Which, interestingly, with those random sort of bronze-esque gold areas, or copper, not sure what colour you want to describe them as, looks quite interesting, to be fair. You have the Tarvo. Can't really go wrong with that one, can you? And finally, Upgrade, which is my personal favourite on this ship of the original hull types. With all that in mind... Oh look, I took the plates off. That's right, the Dhailkhina, the Dhailkhina is actually a white base hull plate with literally minuscule patterns on it, which you can sort of see the striping. That striping is to do with the whole, if you have, the whole paint on the vessel, and that will trigger this effect, even when it's black. It's interesting to note that on the ship. I am kind of disappointed that that's what they went with, but it doesn't stop you from coming up with some various paint jobs, as you may notice there. It's the only scrutiny I'll give to it is the fact that you can't really throw random colours onto the ship. Instead, it wants to maintain the metallic green and brown. Disappointing. But there are vanity shields to fix that issue. So, let's take her into demo record, shall we? Boop, 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 boop. Told you he's still watching over me. He's not going to let me escape. So, here we are in demo record. Render scale 2, taking a nice look at this ship. But we have got more than just this ship to look at for this visual review, which is the weird and interesting quirk of the ship. Oh, and before anyone wonders, of course the Dominion are still here. They are just hiding over there. Hi, DarkStar! Oh, I love the entertainment. So, we'll start off first with the fighters of this starship, the Snakehead fighters, who are beautifully hovering around us here. Now, there's a few things I want to pick up on these guys. First of all, let's take note, that is very reminiscent of the Discovery shuttle hatch, isn't it? A little bit added on, though I do actually really like the style of this. The main things I'm a fan of is the weird sort of... In the wrong angle, it looks like it's a spoiler, but there's the whole plate that's on the top there that has those two fins. It looks really nice to me, actually gives you a sort of feel to the head. Actually gives me a full Cobra feel with the entire ship, but those fins just give me a sense of aerodynamics to the ship and something for atmospheric flight. I also like the impulse array, although it does seem like it's very over the top and you could easily take away the impulses on the wings and just have the two impulses around the hatch at the back. I like the way it looks regardless, and I do think it was a good decision to make, as it gives the Snakehead fighter that sense of extreme speed and power. Speaking of extremeness though, going around to the front, and you've got the beautiful shape of it. I am a little bit confused why they're called the Snakeheads. It's in Romulans tend to use birds, but you go around to the front and you've got these nice two green strips that give you a sense of either weapons firepower or reverse impulse. But in my sense, these are reverse impulse thrusters, I like to think, or the Bazaar collectors, one or the other. And you've got these what looks like four impulse cannons, or emitters, disruptor emitters either side of the main cockpit. Now, I don't imagine they're too powerful since this is a small Snakehead fighter, but you could easily say that these are pulse weapons, firing a full set of 4 blasts, and they could deal some heavy damage. The cockpit itself of the Snakehead fighter looks very impressive to me, and I do like the sleekness and smoothness of the overall shape. This being said, we can go back towards these guys. Now, these guys really do feel like fighters to me. These are the bombers, part of the console you get with the ship when you summon in the bombing run. These are the ships that fly in. As you can see, they're using a very similar bridge to the... well, I forgot its name again. A nice new Command Warbird over there, that's what I'm going to call it, the Command Warbird. It's got a similar bridge head to it, very similar bridge, similar deflector. Obviously, what looks like bombing skimmers underneath it, which is interesting to see, but they do add a lot to the shape. I do find it funny there's also a hatch spacing below there. The wings themselves really do give an air of a bomber aircraft feel, especially with that tail as well. The whole thing feels like it belongs actually flying in atmosphere. Great intakes there, which are possibly Bazaar collectors. The shame there's nothing left there for the actual wings afterwards. And as we go around to the back, you'll see that this ship has a very nicely designed impulse array, with again the same sort of intakes at the sides. As far as I'm concerned, those bits that look like intakes are probably the nacelles of this ship, just with no glowing elements. Bearing in mind that this ship is rarely seen actually properly. It's very unlikely you'll ever see this ship up close like this, so it's acceptable to see very minimal detailing. With that being noted, there is a lot of detailing that's gone into it, despite being heavily a background ship. Thanks to DarkStar, I just found my way back to my ship because I kind of got lost there. So, what can we talk about here? Well, first of all, the bridge. The bridge is big. very big. In fact, you can see the full size of the window on the front of the bridge there. It's huge and right at the front of the ship. What are they doing? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's the actual bridge. I am interested in what that is, but I don't think that's specifically the bridge there. You head up, and that is more where I think the bridge is, in this dome section at the top here with the many emitters or RCS thrusters. I'm really unsure what to call half of this stuff. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to assume that these little grey slots, nozzles that you can see, I'm going to go with they're possibly RCS emitters. Or RCS points. I think these little black strips that you can see around the ship, all over the ship, are beam emitter points. Because that would make some sense, especially with the Romulans to have a heavy amount of weaponry on the ship. And as you move around it, you'll see that these strips are everywhere, but they do linger out in once you get to the tips. The reason I think these these little black slots are the RCS points is because beyond that, the only thing I can see that could be RCS are these. But that would be strange to me. No, not anymore. Look at where they are positioned. Yes. Yes, I think these major big grey hatches are actually the RCS points of the ship. Which would then make me believe that these little black slots, or grey and black slots that you're seeing here, are the torpedo launchers. Which would give 6 forward torpedo launchers. And you know what? That would make sense. So let's round out what other weapons you see on this ship. We've got the green, these little green lights that you see stationed along the wings and that. We'll go right to the tips. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 per wing. 12 possible cannons there. Coming close, you see there's not too much detailing around that section, so I'm just going to go with 12 cannons. Maybe 10 if you discount those 2 spinner ones there. 2 on the nose. That makes sense to me. Maybe 4 on the nose, looking at that. You go around to the back of the ship. This is why I think they're cannons, because they're leaving arcs for the ship to be able to fire in. You've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the rear there, and 2 on the tail. So 2 per wing, so 4 per wing on the tail, and 2 on the tail of it. Going down below, you'll notice that there's no more cannons like that position, which is why I believe those green lights are cannons. But you do see the odd spot for those beam emitters still. Honestly, this ship seems to be underarmed underneath it with minimal beam emitter points, but heavily armed on top with beam emitters, so it kind of makes sense. All the weapons are on top, there's a lot to go there, but it's got a blindside point underneath with weaponry. Romulan overthinking. That's something I could expect of the Romulans. Now back to the bridge, because there is more I want to talk about here around the bridge section. Something I really like about the ship is this fork prong they've got with the wings at the front of here. Now normally, this kind of design is something I think that comes off to myself as a little bit, why would you do that? What is the point in that? Bearing in mind this ship can fire fighters though, which honestly don't come out of the fighter points. But let's take a look down. It looks to me like the fighters might be launched along these wingtips here, and it's a long land base, so it could be a case of you could land each shuttle on there and a hatch would open that's back here and you could be let in gently as a plausible function. That would make one example reason why to have it. Another reason I'm going to say for it is because these are the Romulans. Romulans do love being intimidating, and let's be frank, that's intimidating. And it works. It strangely works. Quite frankly, I like the look of it. Another thing I'm a big fan of for this aesthetic design is these vent guards you got back here, which I believe are the Bassar collectors. For the size of the ship, this would make sense as well. And if they are the Bassar collectors, this is a nice time to see Bassar collectors that aren't in your face glowing, hello, I'm here, but they are blatantly evident to the ship if that is what they are. I've just seen possible 2 more torpedo launchers, and to be fair, mounting on the side would be intelligent to do, and the Romulans are incredibly smart if they're not anything else. So, yeah, I can certainly see them doing that. What more can I go on? What more can I go on? Well, something I want to pin at is the wing structure. Now, a lot of people don't like the look of this ship because, in their opinion, it's bland. Discovery went over the top with all their ships, and they say Picard was a little bit too minimalistic in detailing. I understand where people are coming from this one. The wings are very plain, very flat. Not too much is going on them. If you took the paint away, I wouldn't have too much credit to say to it. The paint pattern does work for me. It gives the ship that little bit more life to it. But I would like to see a little bit more detailing on the wings, just to give them a bit more bulk and a little bit more purpose. Give the wings some purpose, because right now they're just there for show. And yes, the Romulans do like making a show of things, the Deradecks, but they aren't without purpose. Even the Malem, the Morgai, all of their wings had some functional use to them. We could do a thing a little bit more on this, other than placing cannons really wide out. Come back into the major body, and I do like the way these windows are positioned along here with a little bit of detailing, which at first I thought the ship had an overhang, and it was like an overhang with a bunch of support beams there, which obviously aren't really necessary in space, but would add a bit more to the 3D texturing. As much as they probably aren't that, I do like the design of them anyway, because with each of these being there, it gives that sense of life to the ship. This is more than just a Romulan vessel. This is probably a home for people, to be fair. Another possible torpedo launcher, hello, going towards the back, and that's where it gets insane. Loads of these little hatches. Now, the reason I'm going to say torpedo launcher for them really is, one, the design, and two, Romulans are known to use torpedo launchers and mines from the same sort of thing, so this would be a quick way of deploying tractor mines, or mines in general. A little bit confused about this one though. Don't think that's supposed to be on there like that. Okay, so away from weird glitchy detailing, more on the top of the ship, and we head back. Things that I do want to point out that are points of question to me. We can see all along the back here of the ship, it's got a strong spine, but I'm seeing nowhere for the Singularity Core or a Singularity Core hatched. I'm positive the ship would have a way to eject the Singularity Core if necessary. So I would then assume that it's underneath. Oh, hello down there, Klingon vessel. Oh god, I'm not very good at this at times, am I? Yoink! So where is it underneath? There isn't one. I do believe this is a bit of detailing that could have done with being added in. Something for the Singularity Core, something to say, this is where engineering is, this is where our powerhouse is. I won't glimmer on that too much though, because there is a lot going on here as you move towards the back. I love this extra material at the tail, to give it a tail. It does give some life to the ship. Question of functionality, I will ignore for that because it gives shape and life to the ship. And I also like the way it sits over the impulse array. Now the impulse array is probably my favourite aspect of this entire ship. Why? Because from the top here, you've got two powerful impulse emitters in your face, really giving this ship some intimidating flair of potential momentum and power to that. Feels like it's sturdy, like it can move well, and like it's confident. But you go underneath, and it just turns into another story. Now the ship feels powerful on a whole nother level. With 5 impulse emitters, 3 primary and 2 secondaries, you feel like there's some maneuverability and agility to this ship now. May not really have it in game, but it feels like it should be there. And those 2 green emitters just give me that sense of intimidation flair. These are probably how the ship really bolsters its power, really gets some additional thrust. I would love an explanation to why there's 2 types of emitters there, but that's neither here nor there for me to try and identify. I am a bit confused. I love it. I still love the way it looks. This whole ship to me just looks amazing. Finally, we got this lovely massive vent pattern on the back here, alongside with these 4 more vent patterns on either side of the back, and I believe those are the primary hangar hatches to launch out the ships nice and quick. But I would love to hear from you guys what you think that is. Actually, on this note, I would love to know your guys' opinion on a lot of the random elements of this ship. Come on, hit the comment section, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of the ships, visually speaking, as we get into the vanity shields. Let's go. There really is no hiding from the order. But let's get into the vanity shields. Now then, there's a lot going on here with this, which includes the Alliance vanity shield. Holy smokes, does this one look good on the ship. You heard my original complaints. I don't like the fact that the wings are so plain, but this adds something to the wings. It gives a bit more life to it that the standard paint job just doesn't do for the ship. I like the black and the red trimming is underneath and very smooth. Bigger question is the fact that these other elemented glows for the impulse array that I thought actually now has Bastard colours on them. Interesting to know on that one. Can be said she's looking quite beastly right now, isn't it? Very aggressive look, very powerful look. Oh, Ares is here. Bayul. Yoink. Now the Bayul is definitely one of my favourite looks on this ship. And yeah, I've been flying this ship around a bit, so I've got to see some of the visuals and... yeah, this is raw intimidation. This is the one that I fly her with. Yes, I like the Snakehead, I'll admit. Snakehead's my favourite. Why do you think I like this one so much? Very similar look, but with a full blue aesthetic, and the fact I use phaser cannons on this ship, with the blue phaser cannons, definitely works well together. Considering the blue again though, Borg Vanity Shield. We've assimilated in quite an interesting fashion. And I have to say, this works well for the ship. Gives it a... sense that the Romulans have been working with Borg technologies and this has been the outcome. It would be nice if you had an unusual look for it, like the Borg aesthetic, but combined with more Romulan colours. Say, turn all the blue into... instead, I know Borg is normally the black or grey with green, but take the teal that you'd normally see with the Romulans in the place of it. And then sort of a greenish black hole, and yeah, to me that would be awesome to see for a Romulan design at least. Next up we have Discovery. Now I'd love to show you the Klingon aesthetic on this, but unfortunately I was not able to get this ship twice, and thus I cannot show you what the Klingon one looks like. Disappointing, I know, since this is a very good looking ship with the Discovery hull, and I know the Klingon would look amazing on this. If you have got the ship and can show the Klingon visual, I would love to see it over in our Discord. Next up, Emperor's Vanity Shield. Another great looking style. I just like the Bayul a little bit more than this. I don't know why, I can't explain why. But again, intimidation is the flair of this ship and it does it really well. Or at least this Vanity Shield does it really well for the ship. We next have the Feklari Vanity Shield. This is probably one of the ones I have the biggest problem with. It doesn't work on the ship for me, and if you had cleaned up the metal, made it less rusty and cleaned it up, look absolutely great to me, honestly. But like this, it just doesn't feel right. To me, it's almost insulting to have this ship so heavily beaten and battered. But I do like seeing the blue in place of what would normally be red. And let's all be fair, the red metal trim looks amazing. Next up, we have the Kelvin Divergence, the whitewash. I've been happy with it recently, but I don't think we're going to be happy here. You might as well be using this standard hull with no paint pattern. It's basically the same thing, really. Yeah, again, those elements that are normally green have now got the facade coloration on it. The impulse engine strangely had the deflector coloration on it. Makes no sense to me. Are you trying to tell me this ship has absolutely no impulse array? Okay. Next up, we go to the medical vanity shield. Looking quite nice, if I'm honest. The white and the red, it doesn't fill our place. Though, if this was my ambulance coming to save me in the middle of space, I would crap myself. Not because, well, it's the Romulans coming to help me, but because might as well be a warship coming to help me. What are you going to do? What, think I'm Platon? You're going to disintegrate me? God damn. I am not an android. Platinum vanity shield. And this one definitely looks good. Great for those that like a lighter hull aesthetic. And the copper just really brings it together for me. The black and the platinum plates are nice, but the copper is what really gives this ship its life from my personal thoughts on the ship. She's a nice look. Whoever just got the epic prize token, lucky bugger. Section 31 vanity shield time. Now this is going to be funny. I mean, makes kind of sense. Bet Section 31 would love to get their hands on this ship. Oh, am I kidding? If the Tal Shiar and the Jerfface were able to infiltrate Starfleet, I guarantee Section 31 has infiltrated the Romulan remnants. 100% guarantee that one. Okay, where are we going to next? Well, we exit vanity shields and enter acquired shields. Well, shields that are acquired from either missions or reputation. Aegis, first of all. Probably better if this was Klingon to have it red, but oof, wow, that looks bad underneath. The random blue strips of glow just don't work for me, in my personal opinion. I apologize. Not the biggest fan. Next up we have the assimilated regenerative shield array. This one's going to show the actual Borg aesthetics of the ship. And this is where I really do say it works well because you can see the Romulans trying to do this. But I would probably go with the Snakehead hull. If you did this with the Snakehead hull, it would look a lot better. Trust me. Trust me on that one. So I distracted myself a little bit there. Right. Assimilation time. Now, big problem I've got is the way the deflector is awkwardly twisted. But at least I know I was definitely talking about deflector when I called it the deflector, eh? Strange things to note though as we go around the ship. Let's see when you spot little things. Impulse array is exactly where you'd expect it to be, right? Anyone seen it yet? That's right, it's hard to get a close-up visual of it, but it's on the right impulse engine. Awkwardly bent over, so it's clipping into the rest of the primary hull. It's, yeah, interesting to sit there. It doesn't really fit there, it doesn't really belong there, but it adds this little bit of detailing. At least it's, done in a way that doesn't make it feel like it's part of a warp coil when it's, not really part of the warp nacelles, is it? I mean, if they are the warp nacelles, that's an interesting design. And, oh, wow, hang on. The side collectors at the front there stream all the way down to warp nacelles rear. Possibly, oh, that actually could have been the warp nacelles. As a possibility. Right, and now we go Bajoran. The Bajoran, I'm not sure what to say on the Bajoran one. It works for me, but it feels a little bit too beaten. Having said that, this design would work for me. If you turned around and told me that this is a Bajoran ship after they became a member of the Federation and this is what they evolved into building for Bajoran vessels, I would not have a problem with that. Keeping in mind the Bajoran Interceptor and what Bajoran vessels we have already seen. This isn't too far of a stretch away from a combination of the two. So, yeah. This does feel somewhat Bajoran, especially when you give it the Bajoran feel. Bajoran hull. Next up we have the Counter Command Covariance Shield. A personal favourite of a lot of people. Again, this one would look a lot better on either a white, so it's the typical hull without paint, or on, I would say, on the Romulan upgrade hull, Ron Adonier hull, or the Snakehead hull. Maybe I should have got that one out for you guys to see this with. I do apologise for that fault. But hey, I trust that you all, that anyone interested in Space Barbie, I know you've got good imaginations. I know you are, I know you're going to be intellectual people here. You can imagine it. You can see what it would look like if you had the different hull type, and you tell me. You know that looks good, right? Next up, we have the Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield. This doesn't have enough on it, really, to have the things that I normally hate about this Vanity Shield. Normally, I just straight up don't like it because there's always a glow element issue. Let's see how this goes when it literally cannot possibly have that problem. It doesn't. See, they're too small for it to have it, and it looks great. That's how it should always look. That's how the glowing element should always look. This looks stunning to me. It looks really Romulan to me, actually. Oh, what? How can something like this feel Romulan to me? I don't like that. No, no, no. It should not be feeling Romulan. Ooh. I like it. I like it a lot. Help? Is that? I've not put it on the ship before because I was expecting just to dislike it still. Oh, I think it just became my favourite. Dyson. Oh, you knew the Dyson was going to look good, and Lord have mercy, does it? Wow. Give me a Polaron build and this ship will just be a stunner. Present emitted favourites by all, Delta Alliance, and Dyson. All up there. Iconian Resistance. Really doubt it. Wow, that's vile. I apologise to people that do like the Iconian Resistance look. I have never been a fan of it. And the moment they said, oh, we're going to make Vanity Shields a thing, or Vanity Visuals a thing, I was really happy just to be able to turn off the way this shield aesthetic looks, because I would never have used these shields. Well, even when these shields were the go-to DPS shields, I wouldn't have used them because I need to like the look of the ship along with the performance of the ship, and I don't like the look of the Iconian shields in almost all situations. Lucari Restoration. Now this one could be good. I just noticed DarkStar's asking about my Patreon there. It's like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you for giving me an excuse to say it in an unnecessary area. Oh, shameless self-promotion of Patreon. It's the way to help this channel grow. And you know what? This Vanity Shield looks great. Oh, I like the look. Oh God! Just become a tier 3. Well, you know what this Vanity, the credited people for this video is going to be. It's going to have blooming DarkStar in it, or whatever name he's called himself on Patreon. Gonna have to call him DarkStar, I think. Yeah, it's gonna have to be DarkStar Order because that advertises the guy as well. Yee! Why am I thinking about this? Mako Resilient Shields. Can you tell I'm autistic? I get distracted. Whoa, I get distracted. Hello, go. Ooh. I want to go back in the demo record. I think I've just spotted something new there. If I have spotted something new, you know I've just added it into the video. With this Vanity Shield on the ship at the time. That's exactly where I'm going after this part. I'm going to be going to do that. Oh dear me. Autism, people. The ultimate distraction. Okay, next up we go from Mako to Folian. I'm lost for words. I'm not sure if I like it. On the Nakura shield, sorry, Nakura crystalline shields. I don't know if I like it. Part of my head's going, wow, that looks absolutely amazing. But the other part of my head's going, does that really suit it though? Yeah. Comment section, tell me what you think. Right, prevailing, aka competitive shields. And sorry, I did have to respond to that. Why? Same. It's the same. It's the same thing in my head as I had with the Folian. I think it looks great, but at the same time, does it suit it? The underside. No, it's still the same issue in my head. I love how you get the visual aesthetic issues in here as well. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw a little bit extra in here. Can I? Oh, I put it away, haven't I? Sorry, I would throw in a bit of Impulse Edition, but I can't. Sorry. Really bad, aren't I? Romulan Advanced Prototype. If this looks bad on the ship, we have an issue. Because Romulan should look good with Romulan, and you're all seeing it, right? It's not just me seeing the broken up patterns where random plates overlap with random plates and the colour just the whole plate coloration just stops for no apparent reason in random spots. Okay, I'm going to rotate, but that's atrocious. That is terrible. This does not... For Romulan on the Romulan, it does not work for me. It really does not work. That's a big boo-boo. That is a big one. Next up, we have hey temple defense. Now this has potential. I got potential. Oh, sorry about my singing. Everyone's ears that are currently bleeding, I'm really sorry for that. I'm a terrible vocalist. I may be able to voice act, but I can't vocal for crap. Okay, not bad. Next up, we have the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield Array. Oh, If it wasn't for the random blue elements that are on the primary hull, I would have said that looks great. The blue elements spoil it a little bit for me. It's just they fill out of place. Like, underside looks great. Underside looks absolutely amazing. Oh, if you just took away, literally just took away the bits running along the side of the hull, the random blue lines along the side of the hull, that would fix it for me, personally. I mean, the blue bits work on the front of the ship there. That looks great, where I believe the bridge may or may not be. I'm not really sure. This one's going to be insulting to the vessel, but let's do it. Because we've got to do it. Everyone seems to... Oh, I've got to cover all the vanities, but... I wish, so strongly wish this would get an update, just to fix its atrocious look. Okay, next we're going into one of my absolute favourites I've flown with, Jem'Hadar. Jem'Hadar normally is a favourite of mine, just on a basic level. Knew going into this, I didn't even have to look at it when I originally checked that I was going to like it. Just knew I was going to like it. I like grey and purple, okay? Grey and purple just looks amazing to me. Jem'Hadar's look amazing. The whole Jem'Hadar aesthetic is amazing. Bite me. Next, and finally, we have the Riemann Advanced Prototype. The Marmite Shield. You either love it or you hate it. Most people love it, most people hate it. Well, 50% of people love it, 50% of people hate it. That's a lie. It's not really that clear cut. Because you have people like me, which are... I will like it 50% of the time and hate it 50% of the time. But it is Marmite in the sense of it is... Well, I'm saying that. The last ship I reviewed, it was the first time ever I went, I don't necessarily like it or hate it. I don't love it or hate it. I just think it looks good. That was weird. Yeah, weird things happen. Well, this time with Marmite, I'm going to say I love it. I think it looks great. At least the Riemanns look good on this ship. Why is the Riemann aesthetic work better? Maybe the Riemanns are designing the Jerfface ships. That would explain it. I mean, that would explain why this also follows kind of similarly to, if anyone did notice it, the scimitar, but I think that was my favourite thing when people were like, it doesn't look right, just look Romulan. Did you see the scimitar? Mind you, the scimitar is Riemann. So, okay, yeah, makes a little bit of sense, even if the Romulans do fly the scimitar now. I'm not gonna lie, I think that looks absolutely amazing. DarkStar's still there watching, making sure I don't cause any trouble. DarkStar, a huge thank you for becoming a patron during this recording. And guys, seriously, if you haven't seen these videos, please go check them out. But with this being said here, I'm wrapping up. So, to everyone that's watching right now, I've got one simple request from you. Well, technically two. Head to the comments section and let me know, and everyone else know, what you personally think of the ship. Everyone's opinion is valid, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Secondly, if there is a ship you want me to review, both visually and stats wise, because I will do both whatever ship is asked, then please comment that below, or head over to Discord with the hashtag ship review and say a ship there with that hashtag, and I will pull it into my consideration list. The ones that get the most interest will be the ones done the soonest, the ones I get to next. Along with all saying this, a massive thank you to everyone who has been watching to the very end of this video. I know it's been a long one, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and have considered liking it to help me out on YouTube algorithm, and subscribing to catch more of this. I do have an intelligence review video if you do want quick information on stats for a lot of ships. And finally, a huge thank you to the people credited on screen right now for your generosity and your insane support of this channel and helping it grow and stay strong and alive. I wouldn't be able to keep doing this stuff without your support. DarkStar's just joined it. We've got Tribal, we've got Sky, Miss Future Teach, Dante, Negus, TravisGames. I really hope I haven't forgotten someone there, because that should have been everyone listed so far. Fox Plays, that's the other one. Fox Plays, thank you, because you become a Twitch subscriber. People, sincerely, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Remember, live long and prosper, my friends. Ciao for now.